حي على الفلاح.
After praising the King of all kings, the Master of the Day of Judgment, the one, the only, Allah the Almighty, and sending salutation on the Imam of the Prophets, leader of the Prophets, the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. O Muslims, recognize this one statement and you will realize what reality is. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that you will die the way you lived and you will be resurrected the way you died. Recognize this. That sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Malak al-Maut, the angel of death, it visits a person 3 times a day. Recognize this. The Imam Qurtubi says that the angel of death, he's so frightening, he's so scary that all the angels in the heaven fear the angel of death more than one of you fears a lion, fears a beast. For that very reason, the first story comes to mind. A Muslimah, she contacts me. She says that, tell me the reality of my husband's death. Why? Because something strange happened before he left this world. One occasion, he was sitting down and watching football. Why? Because he was a man that he loved Alan Shearer. He had pictures of Alan Shearer. He used to name himself Alan Shearer. He used to have a top with Alan Shearer's name on. When he had his first child, he was going to name him Alan Shearer. He had no time for Salah. He had no time for Allah. The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, O Muslims, that you will die the way you lived. He lived a life of praising Alan Shearer. Listen to this very carefully. His wife says that one occasion he couldn't feel his legs. He couldn't feel his back. I phoned the ambulance. The ambulance came. They took him on a stretcher. After a short while, we were in hospital. He was on his deathbed. He says, oh my wife, make sure you look after the children. Make sure you take care of the children. I was confused, she said. That after a while they will let you go, they'll discharge you. She says, I was looking into his eyes and he started panicking. He started looking left, right. He started panicking. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will die the way you lived. And all of a sudden, he started rocking his head and he started laughing and he starts chanting, I'm Alan Shearer, I'm Alan Shearer, I'm Alan Shearer. He grabbed my clothes and his body lifted from the middle and he left the world in this state. Why? Because Malak al-Maut came and he ripped his soul out and he left the world by chanting, I'm Alan Shearer, I'm Alan Shearer, I'm Alan Shearer. You want to live a life of disobedience? You want to live a life of sin? Uqsimu billah. Allah will disgrace a person at the time of death. He who lives a life of disobedience, he who lives a life of sin, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will die the same way. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla that Allah gives us a good ending while uttering the Shahada and leaving the world in this state. My brothers and my sisters, you just never know when your end is near. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the angel of death visits a person 3 times a day. You could be clubbing, pubbing or popping pills. You could be listening to Movado, Vibes Cartel. You could be listening to Drake or Justin Bieber. You could be cruising around with your girlfriend and your boyfriend smoking weed. You could be on social media. Before you go to sleep, you could be listening to music. And all of a sudden, Allah Azza wa Jalla will say to Malak al-Maut, that bring my enemy to me. And the angel of death will descend and rip your soul out while you are committing sin. Change, O Muslims, before it's too